You guys want to see my video?
Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over. Knocked in the air, intercepted.
So what do you think?
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Off the hands of Richard Sherman.
I take state.
Ah, yes. It's everybody's favorite football slash activist slash fraud, Colin Kaepernick. Now, do you remember Colin Kaepernick, everybody? Well, let me remind you. This is a guy who was good in the NFL for 1 year, then sucked immensely, lost his job to a third string quarterback, and then conveniently, I'm sure it's just a, leave a like on the video if you also think it's convenient. After playing himself out of a job, his statistics prove it. Go ahead and look it up. He went like 7 games, 8 games with no touchdown passes and intercept. Look it up. He was so terrible, he lost his job to a third stringer. And then, I don't know, it's probably just, it was probably just a coincidence. Probably just a coincidence. But then all of a sudden, he got very politically active and started kneeling on the sidelines and talking about more racism, even though this was a black child that was adopted by a white family that gave him every opportunity in the world to succeed. And he did so because he was adopted by a white family and he took advantage of that opportunity, only to later call his former white family racist. That's Colin Kaepernick, okay? A man that made $50 million in the NFL and not another $50 million in endorsement deals. Well, he's back. Now, you might have you might have remembered that he did a Netflix special in which he compared being in the NFL, where the average player is a multimillionaire, to being a slave. I'm not kidding. He referred to being a slave. Kaepernick, biracial and adopted at 5 months old by a white couple in Milwaukee, wasn't willing to take a compromise. In a scene from the miniseries, Kaepernick dressed in black with an afro framing his face as he condemned the NFL draft. We see a depiction of a slave auction juxtaposed with images of white coaches examining black bodies. What they don't want you to understand is what's being established as a power dynamic. He said, before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect that might affect your performance. No boundary respected, no dignity left intact. Well, I don't know. I am not like a 500 IQ person like Colin Kaepernick, okay? I'm not. I wish I were. I really do. All right? But I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is a good example. But see, when you were a slave, you were there against your will. You worked your entire life against your will. Okay? You never got paid for any of it, and your life was terrible. When you're an NFL player, you chose that life. You spent the 15 years prior to that day working as hard as you humanly could to have the opportunity to be poked and prodded. Oh, and I don't know, it's probably an insignificant difference between slavery and the NFL, but when you get picked by a racist white NFL owner, he shows his racism by paying you millions of dollars. Okay? So not only have we established that Colin Kaepernick is a complete effing idiot, and I am extremely high IQ, and everyone listening to this video has already clicked the thumbs up to confirm that they are also extremely high IQ. You wouldn't think he'd ever want to go back to the NFL, would you? It was literal slavery, right? Literal slavery. Now, he's been out of the NFL for almost 10 years now, okay? What's really bizarre to me, is why would you write a 2-page letter begging for a position on the practice squad of a slave team? I don't understand. I don't know. From Colin Kaepernick. Joe. I hope this is to Joe Douglas. I don't know if he's the owner of the Jets or the GM or whatever. I hope this letter finds you in great spirits, despite the less than ideal start to a big season. I'm wishing your staff and the players a great game this weekend as you look to bounce back. This is, of course, in reference to Aaron Rodgers, who they paid $70 million for and immediately got injured. I'm writing, of course, in response to the unfortunate loss of Aaron Rodgers. I know the aspiration of the season were and still are to win a championship, so that Hall of Fame-sized hole will need to be filled as best as possible to keep the team on the Super Bowl track. As of right now, Zach Wilson is charged with that task, and I wish him the best, the rest of the team the best. However, I know that there is currently depth issues at the position, and I've heard that the backup spot is likely to be filled by a veteran quarterback. As much as I would love the opportunity to fill that spot, I'm ready in hopes that you can imagine a much different approach involving me. I would be honored and extremely grateful for the opportunity to come in and lead the practice squad. He doesn't even want, he's so desperate. He's so desperate, he's asking to not even be on the team, but the practice squad. I would do this with the sole mission of getting your defense ready each week. If I were able to fill this role for the team, I believe it allows multiple things. It gives your defense the advantage of getting a truer read on the more mobile, athletic, versatile quarterbacks we'll face in weeks 4, 5, and 6, Mahomes, Wilson, and Hurts. I would consider it a privilege to be able to do this. Would you take on the responsibility with the dedication and passion as if I were QB1? This would also allow you guys as an organization to take a real look at where I'm at, football-wise. It would, in a perfect world, the Jets, I'm going to skip, I'm not going to read everything, it's so cringy. In a perfect world, Jets, Zach Wilson finds his stride and shows he's able to lead a championship caliber team that you put together to a Super Bowl. I believe a confident Zach Wilson has the tools to do it. However, in the event that this is not the case, I would love to offer you a risk-free contingency plan. I mean, how pathetic. As a final point, I would like to add, unlike many other veteran QBs that have been named in the media, I've never retired or stopped training. My training schedule has remained the same for 6 years. Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. training on the field and in the weight room. I've kept this training schedule without failure for the past 6 years in hopes that an opportunity will present itself. I say to give you some perspective where I'm at physically. I've also attached a list of references within the league that will vouch for my character, work ethic, and ability. This is him begging to be a slave. You see even many in the black community, J. Cole put out this letter. J. Cole reeled for that, but at this point, it's getting shameful. I don't even hate Cap, but this is shameful. J. Cole doing everything with dropping an album. Dog, this pissed me off. Got to pack J. Cole up for this one. Man, give it up. Man wrote a whole cover letter. I've been waiting for Cap to get a chance. My friends over there think you're cute vibes. I mean, are you kidding me? This is a guy that said the NFL was racist, that sued the NFL. This is a guy that was more interested in making it about him than anything else. You see, I just spoke with Colin Kaepernick, who tells me his agent reached out to the Jets about his desire to make an NFL return. Kaepernick remains on the West Coast working out. Mehdi Hassan writes, "There's literally no bigger or more outrageous cancellation of modern American life than what was done to Kaepernick. And most conservatives supported it, and most liberals accepted it because he sucked. I'm going to go Kaepernick season stats, okay? I know not many of you are sports ball people, but let me just put this out there, okay? This is from Pro Football Reference, all right? In 2011, he barely started. He started basically full-time in 2012, playing 13 games. 2012, this is 11 years ago. He finished 5-2 with 1,800 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Pretty unimpressive. But first year. Second year, he went 12-4. I believe they made the playoffs that year. Threw the ball 416 times, completed 58.4% of his passes, which isn't great. Threw for 3,000 yards and had 21 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's mid AF, okay? They had incredible defense. 21 touchdowns and 8 picks is pathetic. Now, he probably had half dozen or more rushing touchdowns too, which probably pads that a little bit. You know, helps out a little more. He had 231 yards rushing. I think that is. Now, okay. The year after, in 2014, long before he ever kneeled, he finished 8-8. For the entire season, he played 16 games, 19 touchdowns, fewer than the year before, and 10 interceptions, even more. The team does not make the playoffs. The following year, he plays 9 games, throws 144 passes, has just 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And then his final year in 2016, when he got benched before the kneeling, right? He played 12 games. His record was 1-10. He had 16 touchdowns and 4 picks. He lost 10 out of 11 games. I mean, this guy was never a great quarterback. And he got benched. The whole, like, racism thing is a fallacy. Here you go. September 16th, 2015. Okay? The year before the kneeling. Colin Kaepernick benched. Kaepernick has 1,600 passing yards on the season, but only 6 touchdowns compared to 5 interceptions. And he got benched to a third stringer. The guy was never elite. And this was 10 years ago. But I sure would love him getting a chance on the Jets. It would be great for business.